Project Rush is basically using the same engine as our professional products in Premiere Pro, After Effects, and Audition, and then putting that on a completely reimagined experience in terms of the experience of creating video across multiple devices using that same technology. So as an example, I'm going to go into the plus button here, and we built a capture experience for those that want to be able to have more control into the editing experience. So if I say I'm going to take a video or photo, we actually have a capture experience that follows much like the native camera app on the mobile device, but that switches into a pro mode and allows you to do things like lock the white balance or autofocus, be able to go into the parameters for what kind of aspect ratio or frame rate, shutter speed, ISO, and those types of things. But most importantly, because it's a cloud-first application, anything I capture in this experience, it's going to go directly into the timeline in Rush and then synchronize with the cloud so that it's immediately available on a tablet or my other devices. And that's one of the key benefits of Project Rush. The other side is it's really oriented around the simplicity of the experience. So just because we've put all of that technology into a single user interface, we also want to make sure, though, you're not bombarded with buttons and dials when you go in to create media. So as an example, in this case, getting into the experience and choosing media, I'm just using things from my camera roll here. I could be using stuff from Dropbox or Google Drive or a connected SD card. But the idea is that I'm going to choose the order of my timeline in the experience right out of the gate. And then Rush is going to create the video. And this may be for some folks who are not into the art of craft production. They may be experiencing a sequence for the first time. And you have that very simple editing experience where I can go through the timeline. I can go and do a trim edit from that side, but it is multiple tracks. There is a lot of power here, and you can use that as you explore your creativity. So as an example, if I just drop this up and then create another video track from there, it has 4 video tracks, 3 audio tracks, and that's one of the ways that you can do a more complicated edit as you see fit. I think one of the things that really brings Rush into a differentiated way and really makes it into a powerful experience is the orientation that it connects into our pro user base. So the world's brands, pretty much all across the planet, are started in Illustrator, Photoshop, and usually animated in After Effects. So we created a technology specifically called motion graphics templates that a professional can create in After Effects, Photoshop, and Illustrator, but then be used in the Rush experience, whether that on my phone or on my laptop. So as an example, when I say I want to create a title and I'm going to add this to my timeline, I don't have to recreate any of my branded elements in the app itself. What I do is I connect to the Pro application. So in this case, we have a gallery here of built-in templates. These are actually coming from After Effects and Premiere Pro. So as an example, if I just choose this template here, and then I animate that, that's an After Effects motion graphics template animating real time on my iOS device. It also means that when I want to edit that as the editor within Rush, all I do is double click the interface, and then I change the text to what I want it to be, and it will still follow the brand element the way I want. Especially in the classic broadcast mobile journalism context, this is important for branded elements like lower thirds and that kind of stuff. In this case, I could just take this right down, select the title, and move it around, resize it just using my fingers. And that is a full After Effects branded element that has been obviously associated with your corporate team or with the broadcast entity you work for. So that's a key technology. It uses the same technology as Premiere Pro as well. So if I want to go in and do things like color, I want to be able to take advantage of things called the Lumetri Color Engine from Premiere Pro. I want to be able to change the color experience. These are just presets that can be created in Premiere Pro and shared with the Rush user via things like libraries, which is part of Creative Cloud. Or I can go, if I so choose, into a more complicated editing experience and really get into the fine-grained detail of color. And the nice thing is that because it's the same engine as Premiere Pro, this is Premiere Pro. So the pixel that comes out of Rush is identical, meaning that if I wanted to share this with an editor that is using Premiere Pro, or I wanted to bring this over to my laptop, it's the same project, it's the same format, and I can go from there. So it opens up natively. There's no XML, there's no translation required. It's the same project at the end of the day. Last but not least, there's a lot of function within Rush, but it's also really oriented around getting to social destinations quickly. So you're going to be going to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, your own private destination, whether that's the corporate website or the broadcast entity. The point is, though, is that the sharing experience is really oriented around how quickly can I go in, set up all the parameters for all of those multiple destinations. We're only showing 2 here because that's in the beta. But the idea is that you can log in, set your channel, set the schedules, set the thumbnail, if I can speak. All of the parameters that you would normally do in the social destination, you can do within this interface. And then with a single click, you're publishing to all the destinations that matter for you. So that's really, overall, a walkthrough of Project Rush. Again, it's an all-in-one experience that goes across the desktop, iOS, Android, or the tablet. At the end of the day, anything you bring into this timeline is automatically going to be synchronized with Creative Cloud, which means that it's automatically going to go to your other devices as soon as you have connectivity. It doesn't mean you have to be connected to the cloud. You can work completely offline. You may not have great connectivity. As soon as you get that connectivity, it will synchronize and take care of that for you. So you don't have to worry about copying files using AirDrop, using some other storage device. We're really leveraging the cloud to get your media everywhere you need it to be.